If you want to get a fix on what's gone wrong with the American family and the American city, spend some time, as we did recently, in New York's family court and be a witness to the ways in which law and disorder works or doesn't. Stay long enough, you'll see it all. The battered child, the crack mother, the 10-year-old mugger, the burnt-out social worker, the nitpicking lawyer, all of them sloshing through the well-meaning swamp called the child welfare system. And you'll find presiding there Judith Scheindlin, Judge Judith Scheindlin. And if you find her a little bit shrill, a little bit testy, well, she'd be very pleased.
Unless he's in a hospital, he's to be in school. Clear, sir? This is not a legal game, counselor. This witness may not have a terrific memory, but I've got a very good memory, sir. You have a lot more questions? Good. Well, what do you want me to give him, a testimonial dinner? Thank you very much. Step out.
She is a 5'2" package of attitude with a capital A. And pity the young lawyer who dares to question the judge's judgment.
Well, are you suggesting, Miss Gutierrez, that if I placed him on probation, he would never go visit his mother?
No,
are you
Judge.
suggesting that?
No,
so
Judge.
So let's be real.
To those who confront her, she is the evil queen in a lace collar.
If that's too hard for you, sir, I guarantee you I will put you someplace where you're going to be in bed at 9 o'clock and at school every day. That's where the rest of your friends are.
And she deals with legal procedures with a scalpel.
So your objection's noted. It's overruled. Have a seat. No, listen to me. This is not a tea party. You make an objection, I rule.
The players in this theater of misery are the judge, lawyers, caseworkers, addicted parents, and castaway children.
You make a fool of me again, sir, by not doing what you're supposed to do, and I guarantee you it'll be a very sorry day. We understand each other? Yes. The respondent is paroled to his father in conjunction with the dome.
Unlike criminal court, there is no jury. Those present are supposed to work out a solution that is supposed to be in the best interest of the child. It is never easy.
This baby was born drug addicted, and if you keep using drugs, the other baby is going to be born drug addicted. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to take this baby home from the hospital because the commissioner's not going to let you.
And when she feels the best interest of the child is to scare the living daylights out of him, she does not shy away.
Now for you, Joey, I want you to stand up, because I have a few things to say to you. I am dismissing this case, sir, because the law says that I must. That doesn't mean you're innocent, sir. That doesn't mean that you weren't involved in both of these robberies that night. That just means that they weren't able to prove it. We understand each other, sir?
Yes.
That little boy, 13-year-old boy, was sitting right here. And you were trying to scare the hell out of him.
Correct.
You think you did?
I don't know, but I try.
No, but do you think you really scared him? You think...
I scared him not only by what I said to him verbally, but by the fact that when he was originally in the court, he was arraigned before another judge, and he was told to go to a particular program, an all-day school, and he didn't go. I said to him, we're not playing games here with you. This is the rule. You were told you were going to be paroled if you went to the alternatives to detention school. You didn't go to the school, you go to detention. I mean, if we're going to make orders, we have to be prepared to enforce them. Otherwise, everybody laughs at us and thinks that we're full of baloney. Right?
And baloney is what she hates. But lectures she likes a lot, likes to give them. And when a caseworker seems to be dragging his feet, there is the threat of nuclear response.
Sir, you don't want me to have palpitations, do you? What? Very bad when I get palpitations. You have to see to it that this visitation takes place. It's very important that this child get to see his mother and his grandmother. And the longer he spends not seeing his family, the more difficult it's going to be. Is that a fair statement, sir? Yes. Well, then let's just do it. The goal is to get them to do the right thing. Nobody who comes into my courtroom who's done the right thing is afraid. They're afraid if they come in and they do the routine thing, which is just give me a lot of rhetoric and gobbledygook, either one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to say, I want off this case, I'm never going back there before that monster again, or they'll say, the next time I come in, I better have done my job better.
Do they ever mouth off at you?
Rarely.
Indeed. Robert Little, the commissioner of the Child Welfare Administration, had some choice words about the judge up until the cameras started turning. Then this.
She's always been very cordial, and, you know, we get along well as far as I know.
You get along well personally, but I don't think your agency gets along well with the judge.
Well, she talks to me a great deal about things that need improvement, as do a number of judges, and we attempt to make the necessary adjustments.
Why must a caseworker have 3 supervisors?
We have an initial supervisor 1 that is essentially a backup to the unit supervisor. The unit supervisor has a manager, a case protective manager, who supervises a number of units.
And very often, these 2 supervisors and this caseworker has another supervisor.
It's 4 so far.
Right. They are represented by a child welfare attorney who practices here in the court.
5.
5. Now, they get this 1 child. Usually it's more than 1 in a family, but let's say they get this 1 child. And the city decides we are going to subcontract the care of that child to a private care agency, another business. There are many of them, but it's a private agency. That private agency has a caseworker, a supervisor. That supervisor has a supervisor, and minimally, that agency also has a lawyer that we all pay for. Now, we are paying for 9 people
For 1 child.
for that child.
More than half the payments for family foster care in New York City go to kinship foster care, a program that enlists relatives, usually grandmothers, to look after abused or neglected children. While many people say it's an excellent way to keep families together, others, like Judge Scheimlin, say it's a way to rip off the city for big money. And she has a favorite example.
Well, that was a foster mother who was a grandmother who had 6 children, 6 grandchildren with her, and the children were ultimately removed from her because they found the children living in abysmal conditions. This lady had been receiving $3,000 a month from the city
This is the grandmother.
the city to take care of the grandchildren. And when I asked her, what were you doing with the money? Her response to me was, I bought a house in Puerto Rico.
The judge says the system of paying a grandmother to be a foster parent, in theory, removing a child from a destructive mother, is an invitation for the whole family to cheat.
That money is tax-free. Nobody monitors what's done with that money. Nobody monitors how it's spent. I've had cases where both parents work for the Child Welfare Administration and their children are in kinship foster care. It was used like a babysitting service.
The judge's repetition of these horror stories has opened her up to accusations that she's insensitive to the needs of the people she serves, not least to the problems of caseworkers. The city would not allow its caseworkers to talk to us, so we asked Commissioner Little. Part of Judge Scheimlin's problem with this agency is a caseworker comes in, often with as many as 3 or 4, an entourage of 3 or 4 people, of supervisors and a lawyer, and nobody in that entourage is familiar with the case.
Well, I've always been open to the judge's constructive improvement suggestions and would continue to be so.
But when they do come in like that, she beats up on them.
I don't have any personal observations of that type of thing, but I do get a number of reports that suggest that they're not held in high esteem.
New York City lawyers might feel the same after a session in Judge Scheimlin's courtroom.
Mr. Wilger, because I run my courtroom, right?
I know you run your courtroom.
That's correct, sir.
Well
The tail doesn't wag the dog. So all I'm asking you is, do you want me to order new reports or whether we will use the old reports?
Well, I just want to state my position, Your Honor.
That's denied.
My position
That's denied.
is that I believe
That is,
my
Mr. Wilger,
client,
Mr.
when many
Wilger,
things were going into with my client.
you
that
want new
weren't
reports?
appropriate,
You want new reports,
I
sir?
believe that those are on this
Oh,
report.
God
these
almighty.
reports, and I just...
Just tell me what you want, old reports or new reports, and I'll give you whatever you want.
Well, I believe that new reports should be ordered. I
Good.
believe that
Order
reports should be
new reports.
ordered because
Order
I believe that there are many
new-
statements that were
Good.
To Scheindlin, justice must not only be done and seen to be done, it must be seen to be done fast.
Could you please move on, Miss Allen? I have about 20 other cases to do today, Counselor.
Objections? Forget it.
Your Honor, I would object. I believe this is beyond the scope of direct, and I would
Just a
ask that
second.
Ms. Allen adopt this witness as her own if she's going to ask these types of questions.
Okay, let me tell you this, so that you don't make that objection again. Since you have an objection on the two grounds that I made, sit down and don't interrupt this proceeding again. Sit down.
I was stating that
Sit down. You have a standing objection. And if you want to state any other bases for your objection, I will direct that the reporter be here at 5 o'clock, because I have 30 other cases to do, and you can come in and put any ground that you want on the record.
yes, Your Honor.
Good.
Miss Levy had only one more thing to say. Just read her lips. If you missed it, it rhymes with which.
I worry that occasionally, because I'm outspoken, that somebody's going to say, well, this lady's not going to be reappointed. We're not going to give her another opportunity to beat our brains out. You know, we'll find somebody else who won't beat our brains out. I mean, come on, we understand what's happening here. This hand doesn't know what this hand is doing. And now we want...
Judge,
now,
all we're saying,
all I want you to say, Mr. Hill, is that I'll take care of it this week. You
not
can
going-
put families back together again. You can find the right place for a kid who's in trouble. You can make a difference in the life of a family. And if you see a situation like that, and if you're not willing to commit yourself to breaking a sweat, then you don't belong in this business. Go to work in surrogate's court. Everybody's dead over there.
So much for her judicial colleagues. For 20 years, Judge Scheindlin has worked family court, first in the Bronx, now in Manhattan. She's the fastest judge in the system, nearly 300 cases a month, a judicial treadmill. She uses a real one in the gym where the machinery never talks back. Did you terrorize your own kids the way you terrorize other people's kids in court?
They ignore me. They knew at a very early age how to impose young Jewish guilt on their working mother. So although I tried to be intimidating, I don't think I was very successful.
She's had 2 husbands and raised 5 children, 3 of them following her into the law. Adam, a prosecutor on Long Island, said his mother maintained a unique code of justice at home.
There's the Court of Appeals, there's even the Appellate Division. But there is no appeals here.
It's Mom.
That's it.
Judy's law.
It's Judy's law. That's exactly what it is.
And festive family dinners are done in the traditional Manhattan way. They're ordered in.
You writing on the recipe? 212, dial. Food.
There are legions of caseworkers and lawyers who will go into shock at these scenes. The evil queen in the role of fairy grandmother.
Give me a kiss.
Given what you have to deal with every day, the degradation, the abuse, the pain, the suffering, God knows, what does it do to the judge?
What keeps me going are those few cases, maybe 10 a year. Maybe 10 a year. And I do maybe 1,000 cases a year. Maybe 10 of them I can make a real positive difference. That keeps you going. I try to get the best out of people who come before me. I try to give them my best, try to make the best possible solution very often out of a very terrible situation. I know it's just a Band-Aid, but it's the best Band-Aid I can put on it.
You think 10 years from now it's going to be better or worse here?
Worse. A lot worse.
I don't understand. You're just doing it for your programme.
Why do you keep shooting at me?
You're just doing it for your programme. How are you going to get all these housed?
This is highlighting the issue, and listen, all I'm trying to do is listen to me, right? Can I just say what I just said to somebody else, right? It's a
I'm putting my hand in front of the camera. Put my hand in front of the camera. Get off me. Don't touch me. Well, don't touch me.
You're very angry. I'm trying to talk to you.
No, because you're just doing it for your programme. You are. You are in the West programme. I don't have to, man. Tell you, fucking turn it off.
What are you doing? What are you doing this for? Why don't you listen instead of shouting?
I am listening.
Why don't you understand that there's people who
I am,
trying to be rehoused, but you are getting more and more aggressive and you're not helping the situation. You asked this lady what she's done in the last 12 days.
Listening to her.
Then why are you shouting and
Listening
screaming?
to
Ask
her,
me.
Yeah,
If you want to help these people,
and this is what he's doing. He's getting this out there because obviously there's only so much we can do, and he's getting it out there. So please.
that's what I mean.
Excuse me, no disrespect. I'm absolutely allowed.
I understand why you're angry.
It isn't. It's positive. You need all the support.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Are angry. That's
College.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, he's alright.
I'm just wondering because I've not been to see them.
No, he's alright, mate.
I'll let you tell the secret. What's that? Any of this is all one thing.
What's that? It's getting cold.
Where's the council? Is there? Where's the council?
Where's the BBC tonight?
No, but where's the council?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where's the police and that?
Are you the eviction people?
No, where's the BBC tonight offering the 20 quids out?
Can I tell you something else as well? I'm probably not supposed to be here because I'm supposed to have a permit to film.
Yeah, where's the
I didn't,
that's what
I
I
didn't
mean.
get one because I wanted to come and see what was really
Where's the
going
BBC
on.
tonight? They was out here in raging about what's that? It's alright.
Shouting at me because I'm actually
I'm just
trying
saying
to...
the BBC
Did you hear
was
what,
out here rocking
did you hear what
the
this, did you hear what this lady said?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to highlight something that's fundamentally... Sorry?
Sorry, yeah.
Then I'm so... Come here. Good.
Sound, Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah.
The point is, let me say this to everybody. Is it right in 20? I've said it already.
Chill the fuck
In 2016, right? That people should be made to live in tents. Somebody told me from Hull. No, he's fine. Leave him. He's fine. Somebody told me the whole council will tell you that there's 2,500 rooms, and yet there's 24. Right, no, hear me out. So if there are whole city councils, this is on. Where's my camera? I'll ask the council this again. If you've got 2,500 rooms, why the hell? Well, you can't use that word, so I'll do it differently. Why the hell are there 25 people living in tents in the middle of the winter? That's wrong. That's what.
Jez, come on, fuck off. Jez, he's alright, he's a good man.
And people fucking eating food while fucking rats are being eaten. Terrible. So the hospitals be overrun with fucking rat disease.
So you and I are both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we're mates
he's spot on.
Jez, down the camera.
Jez, come on. Can I shake your hand?
I understand your frustration, but if you want to help someone, what you got to understand me saying is, if people are drinking and shouting and screaming, it ain't going to help.
Fuck off.
Jez,
Fucking wankers.
Well, that's not going to help, is it?
Where's the BBC tonight?
Well,
I'm going there to see David Benz. Fucking radio suicide. That's what it is, radio suicide.
This is alright, man.
That's what one of the workers said last night, radio suicide.
I think it's amusing, don't
Yeah, don't they?
offices going to the houses tonight.
I had them all throwing tomatoes and then fucking oranges last night. Get in, daft cunts.
Listen,
Look at it.
Listen, look at me. That's not going to help him. Listen, do you know why?
Fucking David Benz.
I don't know who David
Listen,
Radio suicide.
Oh, let me know like another David Cameron.
That's what a worker said last night, radio suicide. I'm fucking going there, see David Benz. Fucking old city fucking... I know he is. Full come all. Yeah, out with you tonight, I didn't fucking BBC like there was last night with us.
Right, I've got a point now. Got a point.
The BBC was out with you filming us last night. I know you leave me, you. I'm not on about him. What about the BBC out with you last night filming us all and offering fucking people money for interviews?
Yeah, do you know Rob?
You can't solve it. Just try it. Got it with them.
There was out here offering people money last night. Yeah. Fucking dishing money out and that. Everyone telling them to fuck off and get back in, and then the rental van set the cameras up on the balcony.
We don't sit up there all week.
Yeah, well, instead of fucking cameras.
Is it that one?
Yeah, and then the video was all down here last night. Fucking daft. Yeah. But if I go steaming in there, then they won't like it.
That's what I mean. See the council comes down.
No, after 4 o'clock one, eh?
Yes, so they are. We're back there again.
Yeah, where the fuck are they?
I should have you on the show. Listen to me.
Where's the city council?
Are you going to listen to me?
I'll get fucking job there with them.
Listen to me. We're going to be mates. Listen, when you know that you're doing okay, what you do is you keep quiet and let it play out.
I can't because
they're late, which probably says they've got. Maybe they're a little bit concerned.
I'd be having a cup of tea. Maybe having a cup of toffee.
Do be nice and
Get me a cup of tea.
Are we smiling?
Get me a fucking cup of tea. You what?
I will.
Get me a bottle of whiskey.
No, that's
I need a fucking bottle of whiskey. No, I don't know my drink.
We'll wait here calmly. There's a cloud.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've got to drop some more food off for the rats. Dropping some more food off for the rats for them all to eat. Yeah.
Welcome back, my guest tonight. He's the host of The O'Reilly Factor on the Fox News program channel. His new book is called Killing Patton, The Strange Death of World War II's Most Audacious General. Please welcome back to our program, Mr. William O'Reilly. William! Hello, William. Sit. Have a seat. I'm glad, given the Ebola scare, you still are shaking my hand. I think that's a positive step. I know you're very frightened, and I just want to tell you everything's going to be okay. There you go, baby. Get that going. That's settled down. The book is called Bill O'Reilly, Killing Patton. It's like the 8th. We're just going to call this series Killing Trees. They sell like crazy. It's wonderful.
You didn't read it, though, huh?
No, I did not read it. I'm going to wait for the Lifetime series.
But I want you to direct it.
I will direct it.
I want you to direct it.
I'd be happy to direct it.
It'd be good.
I'm a director now.
I know, you have a vampire movie coming out.
Something like that. It's one of them tween movies where love is found unexpectedly.
That's the theme of Killing Patton.
No, it's not. Here's what I love about this. Look at the cover there. It's just like Patton's just sitting there and Hitler's just giving him the eyeballs. Look at that. Look at Hitler. Oh, I'm gonna get you. All right. Listen to me. Here's all I want from you today. This is it. This is all we got to do in this conversation. Okay. Just one. I have one simple goal. Yeah. I want you to admit that there is such a thing as white privilege. That's all I want.
I know. I knew you were going to.
That's all I want. That's it. Just a little. I just want you to say, I'm terribly, terribly wrong on this. I just want you to look at me.
In your case, there is white privilege.
Thank you.
The fact that you're here sitting there, he doesn't even shave. He doesn't even look at you.
What? I shave?
What? There isn't. You didn't shave.
This
look
growth
at this.
is from not. It's called Jewish privilege. It happens. We are a hirsute people.
Oh.
You have said, you stated this.
Yeah.
There is no. I don't believe that there's a thing called white privilege.
There is not.
See, now, okay, now we have a conversation we can have.
Okay, look, if there's white privilege, then there has to be Asian privilege, because Asians make more money than whites. What? Oh, you didn't know any of this, huh?
Well, not in Vietnam. What kind of Asian? You have to...
Asian Americans.
Well, no.
Asian Americans.
Depends on where they're from, if you're looking at...
They're from Asia. They're Asian Americans.
I understand that,
Good.
but as a...
Okay, they make more money, higher education, more affluent. So it's Asian privilege, not white privilege.
You're missing the point. And the
Sorry to confuse you with facts.
You're not... It's not the... That's the... Okay, here we go. The Asian experience in America, the Asian immigrant experience, is very different from the black experience.
Yes.
So it's really, they're not equivalent. And either way, white people, males, set the system. So that's what privilege is that white people set the system that, yes, maybe Asian immigrants, once immigration policy was liberalized, have done better over these past 30 or 40 years. But there has been a systemic systematized subjugation of the black community. Would you not agree with that?
Sure. I mean,
well, then
everybody
that's it.
knows.
That's white privilege. You just did it. That's it. We're done. You just did it. You just didn't. That's all.
What happened to that hand sanitizer? You almost touched me. Look,
that's all this is.
That was then. This is now.
Oh, it's there was white privilege, but it no longer exists.
Maybe you haven't figured out that there is no more slavery, no more Jim Crow. All right.
All right.
And the most powerful man in the world.
All right. Oh boy.
Is
here we go.
A black American.
Oh boy.
And the most powerful woman in the world, Oprah Winfrey, is black. Okay?
Being able to give people a free car does not make you the most powerful woman in the world. But listen closely, because
don't mess with Oprah.
No.
She'll come in here and shave you.
I see the issue here. You don't believe that the residual effect of, slavery and Jim Crow are dead. But the residual effects of that systemic subjugation exist today.
It absolutely exists today.
Let's go a different way.
It exists for every race, not at that extent. All right?
So that's white.
So you don't put forth, all right, this white privilege, and if you fail, that's why you fail. All right? America is now a place where if you work hard, get educated, and an honest person, you can succeed. That's what should be put out there.
You are carrying,
not all this other stuff.
You are carrying more of a burden as a black person in this country than a white person in this country. From
collectively, yes, but not
individually.
You listen.
They don't stop and
every
frisk Wall Street bankers,
is different.
even though they've done far more damage to the economy.
They don't stop and frisk.
White people, listen to me. White people do more drugs in this country than black people, but black people make up a far higher majority of drugs.
Do you know why that is?
Yes.
You do know why that is. Why is that?
Because black people, it's about real estate to some extent. There has been a systemic subjugation through real estate. Black people are ghettoized in this country.
They're forced to live there. They have to live there. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, you're getting to a bad place, my friend.
Listen,
all right,
this is the usual white guilt liberal stuff.
This is not guilt. This is fact. I don't feel guilty.
You should.
Why?
You're getting paid for this.
No, you mean for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back here.
Should be very guilty.
Look,
this
what
is the
made
usual
you culturally?
stuff.
No. What made you culturally? Do you think your upbringing gave you values, ethics?
Yes, it did.
You didn't grow up rich, right?
No, we didn't.
But you worked hard.
Money at all.
Right.
I did.
You worked hard.
Right.
You lived where?
Levittown, New York.
So it gave you a nice, stable, a cheap home. There was no down payments. It was this incredible opportunity. No, those houses were
it was just lavish.
Subsidized.
Yeah.
It wasn't lavish.
No, they weren't
stable.
subsidized.
But
they
it
were
was stable.
sold to GIs, and the GIs got a mortgage they could afford.
Okay.
Look,
well, let me just ask you a question.
You're making a huge mistake.
No. Let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
Did that upbringing leave a mark on you even today?
Of course. Every upbringing leaves a mark on people.
Could black people live in Levittown?
Not at that time. They could not.
So that, my friend, is what we call in the business white privilege.
Okay. That was in
No.
That was in 1950, all right?
1950.
1950.
Were there black people living there in 1960?
In Levittown?
Yes.
I don't know.
There weren't.
How do you know?
Because I read up on it.
Oh, you read up? You don't know that?
I do know
that. I can
that.
find somebody.
My point is this. Even today...
Why would you want to live there? It's a nice place, but it's not a place like you... It's not like Bel Air.
Because it's a place that built values. What you don't understand is...
There were millions of black neighborhoods that built values.
But imagine growing up knowing that you, as an American, as a GI who fought in World War II, couldn't buy into that because you were less.
It was unfair.
You were not good enough.
It was unfair.
And the residue of that continues today, and that is white privilege.
It's all right. If you want to say it's white privilege because whites didn't have it as bad as blacks,
I'm saying it exists.
Fine. But that's not what's happening here in contemporary society.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh.
If you, let me repeat this, and I'll do it slowly.
All right.
So even you can understand.
All right.
If you work hard, if you get educated, if you're an honest person, you can make it in America.
If you live in a neighborhood where poverty is endemic, it's harder to work hard.
It's
harder to get an education.
Hey, it was harder for me than it was for the white guy in Garden City. It's all relative. Yes, it's harder if you're a ghetto kid. Yes. But can you do it? Yes.
Yes, you can. You can also win the 100-yard dash on one leg.
Oh,
but
stop.
it's harder.
All right.
And just all I'm asking is this. Here's all I'm asking.
Yes.
Here's all I'm asking. Because this would go a long way towards healing what I think is a huge racial issue in our country. Just an acknowledgement of that. Nobody's blaming you.
Every fair person acknowledges that, and I've said it many times on The Factor, the highest-rated cable news show in the world, all right? That African Americans have it harder.
Somebody hasn't seen Megyn Kelly yet.
Oh.
She's crushing you, dude. She's crushing you.
Now, you're misleading this audience.
She's crushing you.
You're misleading.
All right. All I'm saying is you admit it.
You have the sanitizer again?
Yes.
Please?
You admit. So here's my point. So we've come to agreement. You admit that white privilege exists, and while it's not an excuse, it is a reality.
It doesn't exist to any extent where individuals are kept back because of their color or promoted because of their color. Look, you and I are lucky guys. We made it. We worked hard. It's not because we're white.
Wait. Well.
Oh, you think I'm sitting here because I'm white? What are you, a moron? I'm sitting here because I'm obnoxious, not because I'm white.
No, sir, listen to me. The point is this: when you try and reduce it to being solely about that, absolutely. But my point is this: women face this, and minorities face this. They have to make strategic calculations in their lives that white guys never have to make. We never have to worry about walking down certain streets because somebody's going to catcall us. We never have to worry about if when we move into a neighborhood we're going to be accepted. These are the types of things that we're talking about.
Maybe you didn't have to worry it. I did. If I had to move into a neighborhood to be accepted, I wasn't accepted anywhere. Look, you're generalizing, and what you're doing is promoting victimhood.
No.
Yes.
All right. What you call victimhood, what I'm saying is by acknowledging that reality, that goes a long way towards healing the resentment. So what I don't understand is why so defensive about it? Why is it that white people get so defensive about this? I'm not saying that life isn't hard. Middle-class white guys that are working hard to do what they can, and they look and they go, I'm not getting any privilege. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is a group of people that were brought here. They didn't choose to immigrate here to get that better life. And just acknowledge that our country's had a problem with that, and we can move
that who are fair-minded. But you don't then take that and then condemn the modern society because
nobody's condemning
Yes, you are. It's white privilege that makes you successful. I even heard that over here.
I just said that's not.
You know, if you're not a woman, it's not.
You know what I'll call it? I'll call it this, and it's a word I think you'll understand. A factor. It's a factor.
It's a factor. I'll give you the factor business.
You did.
It's a
You're
factor.
giving me the factor. Common cause. That's it. That's all. Oh, you want the sanitizer? Right here. So we're okay.
Are we on the air?
We've been on the air the whole time. Let me tell you something. This was a beautiful moment in healing between not just black and white, Jew and Irish, tall and short. This was a historic moment.
Yeah. Are you happy now, Stuart? Are you happy?
Happiness is not what comes by me. But let me say this. Your humility has moved me. You are like Pope Francis that has taken the Catholic Church into an era of acceptance and humility. You, Bill O'Reilly, can lead the flock of the fox fearful to a better place. I believe in you. The book is called Killing Patton, and I'm sure you've sold a lot.
No white privilege in the book.
Oh! Bill O'Reilly, ladies and
gentlemen.
All right. You did it!
Why on earth would you want more guns in schools after what's happened today?
Here's why, Piers. If we could suddenly make all guns disappear, I'd have a different position. But I spend a lot of time thinking about this and reading about it. I teach a class at the law school level called Gun Control Seminar, and I get a new group of law students every term, and we discuss this in detail. And the simple facts are guns exist. They are essentially 1800s technology. Even semi-automatics came into being in the late 1800s. They're easy to make. They're not going anywhere. They last several human lifetimes with minimal maintenance. So since guns exist, and we know for a fact that the only way to stop an evil person, like the person you were discussing earlier in the show, is to shoot him, or he's going to shoot himself.
Hang on. This is exactly the argument that I've been hearing ever since I've joined CNN. I joined on air about a week after Gabby Giffords, a congresswoman, was shot in the head. Right, ever since then, we've had the Sikh temple, the Aurora incident, we had the shopping mall last week, guy downstairs shot in the head from our New York bureau, and so on and so on and so on. And the argument I keep hearing is, well, if everybody else was armed, it wouldn't happen. It's a load of total hogwash, isn't it? No. If everyone had been armed at that movie theatre, twice as many people would have been killed in the mayhem that erupted.
Give an example where people have stopped these attacks and a bystander's been hit. You can't give me one example where a bystander's been hit by a permit holder.
The Empire State Building.
Where a permit holder.
Can I just...
The proof of the pudding
you don't
is that in every other industrialized country in the world,
gun shows
other than the United States,
ranges.
They have reasonable gun control laws, and they have 100 people a year, not 9,000 or 10,000 a year killed by guns.
Guys, listen,
Japan,
but it was lower before gun control there.
Japan adopted strong gun control laws.
And has almost zero crime.
And the homicide rate
But the point is, the gun control didn't change it.
In Scotland, in Dunblane, in 1996, there's a very similar school shooting.
Right.
Just an awful situation. 16 young children killed exactly as they were today.
You know what,
here.
the two of the
And they, as a result of this, they brought in a handgun ban. 162,000 handguns were handed in. Right? It is time for an amnesty.
Murder rates went
up.
There's an amnesty in Australia as well.
Murder rates went up.
There are about 35 murders a year in Britain.
But it was lower for another
reason.
reason.
There are nearly 12,000 murders a year from guns in this country.
The point is,
when are you guys going to focus on that? And stop telling me the answer is more guns. It is not the answer.
Look,
listen.
Let's
focus on
than it was after the ban. It was higher than it was before the ban.
So you want more guns, not less?
I'm saying
300 million guns in America isn't enough for you.
When you ban guns...
How many more kids have to die before you guys say, we want less guns, not more?
I'm upset about this. He asked me a question.
I want to tell you
something.
Let
him answer the question.
I'm upset because I worry that the gun control laws that you're pushing have killed people.
Oh,
that
what
when
a
you,
lot of nonsense.
Look, you have to explain.
Nonsense.
You
An
have
average of 35 killings from guns in Britain a year.
No,
in a place that banned handguns.
But
Here,
it was lower
no ban
before
on these
they
guns.
had the gun control
12,000
laws.
people a year die from gun murders.
Look, there are lots of differences
If there are
across
35
countries.
total in
You
Britain,
have to
Can I
understand.
please have the opportunity to say
that
something
if you
without screaming?
ban-
I mean,
Yeah, there is. I'm sorry, but
no, I want the. I just
today.
need to.
I've been debating this all week. Following the Bob Costas thing, the shopping mall and so on, following Aurora. I've been debating it for months, if not 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated. I'm so furious that these
Yes.
kids have been blown away again with legally acquired weapons. Some boy who's got problems takes his mother's 3 weapons, including this ridiculous assault rifle, and goes into school and kills his kids. And you guys on the gun lobby still want to tell me the answer is more guns.
Look, I'm an academic.
I didn't really have any involvement prior to getting involved with Scientology in any way. It was just kind of like me. You know, it's like, well, I'm screwed up. I need help. And screw everybody else. And since I've been involved in Scientology, you know, you learn to take responsibility for yourself, and not only yourself, but others. And so the focus gets a little bit off of you, and that's always a good thing, you know, that it's not all about Leah and my problems and my garbage. So, and it feels good to know that you actually can make a change, because people can make a difference. It's nice to know when you do something, you go, I'm actually helping. You know, I'm helping them help. I'm helping the church help so many other things. And that's such a, I love it. I love being involved with it, because then I feel like I'm a good person. I don't know of an organization that has their hands in so many things in the community, especially when it has to do with children and the environment, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so they give so much. I mean, it's crazy. Well, I'm an artist, so like I said, without it, I'd be, you know, in the dumps, and I would probably be an animal. I would be a horrible, horrible person. Celebrity Center is my second home, and there's not a person here that I can't go to when I'm having a problem in my life or I'm, you know, things are not going well. There is something here for everybody. I could go on forever about Celebrity Center, but really, if I just have to say in layman's terms what it is for me, is it's like having a best friend for life. It's like the best friend who's always home, the best friend who doesn't have a problem, the best friend who's always there for you regardless, and that's what CC has been for me and my family, is a pure friend. Regardless of what's going on in the world, CC has always been here for me as a friend, and I cherish it. It's one of the gifts that's been given to me as an artist. I think as an artist, you get a lot of crap on a daily basis. You need something. It's either going to be drugs or something positive, and Scientology is positive. So I think that's why people are drawn to it. That's the bottom line. Don't really get along with others, and you know, there's so many things. There's so many things that Scientology has helped me with. I don't think I would be me, really, without Scientology. I don't think I'd have the success that I have without Scientology. I wouldn't be the girlfriend that I am, the daughter that I am, the sister that I am, because this is all because of Scientology and what Scientology has taught me. I think as an artist, you get a lot of crap on a daily basis. You need something. It's either going to be drugs or something positive, and Scientology is positive. So I think that's why people are drawn to it. That's the bottom line. What Scientology has helped me with is confidence. I've had somewhere to go to tell someone my fears, and I wasn't crazy, and you know, that I could actually do something about those fears, that I could actually be in control of my own feelings, that I could actually be in control of my own career. And that's what Scientology has helped me with. And I think it's important for an artist to have some outlet other than your mom, who's like, just shut up and go on another audition. You know, you need some other help. And it's offered me that help. And I have included myself in this category of, you know, this makes me legit, you know. If I have a house that looks like this and a car that looks like that or boobs that look like this, then I'm legit, you know, then I'm really in this business and I'm really someone to be reckoned with. And, you know, I've gone down that path. I don't really have the boobs, but I had the other things. And it's an empty happiness, and I see it time and time again. I have successful friends in all areas of the entertainment industry, and what I see are failed marriages, failed relationships, unhappiness, depression's a big one. I'm not a depressed person, and I guess I take it for granted because I've been in Scientology most of my life, but that's what I see. I see these are definite traps that you have to look this way and act this way as opposed to really being a well-adjusted, happy human being with integrity. It makes me feel whole. There's a piece of me now that was missing. And when I had the idea to start a mission here, it really came out of having been raised in a community that was diverse. And when you move to California, you don't really have that neighborhood feeling. Like, I didn't even know my neighbors until there was an earthquake. And the only reason you know them then is because they feel an obligation to knock on your door and go, "You okay?" reluctantly. But I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in a community like this. So for me, this is a piece of my heart.
Hey, I want to tell you something, okay? And I want to leave a message for you right now, because again, it's 10:30 here in New York on a Wednesday, and once again, I've made an ass of myself trying to get to a phone to call you at a specific time. When the time comes for me to make the phone call, I stop whatever I'm doing, and I go and I make that phone call at 11 o'clock in the morning in New York, and if you don't pick up the phone, at 10 o'clock at night, and you don't even have that goddamn phone turned on. I want you to know something, okay? I'm tired of playing this game with you. I'm leaving this message with you to tell you, you have insulted me for the last time. You have insulted me. You don't have the brains or the decency as a human being. I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old, or that you're a child, or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the ass who doesn't care about what you do as far as I'm concerned. You have humiliated me for the last time with this phone. And when I come out there next week, I'm going to fly out there for the day just to straighten you out on this issue. I'm going to let you know just how disappointed in you I am and how angry I am with you that you've done this to me again. You've made me feel like shit, and you've made me feel like a fool over and over and over again. And this crap you pull on me with this goddamn phone situation that you would never dream of doing to your mother, and you do it to me constantly and over again. I am going to get on a plane, and I'm going to come out there for the day, and I'm going to straighten your ass out when I see you. Do you understand me? I'm going to really make sure you get it. Then I'm going to get on a plane, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to come home. So you better be ready Friday, the 20th, to meet with me. So I'm going to let you know just how I feel about what a rogue